Welcome to Life Is, a proud part of the Bethel University Clarion Podcast Network. I'm co-host Zach Walker.
And I'm co-host Abby Pautz. Today, Life is Moms. With the help of some friends, we'll talk about home-cooked meals, 1.5-day road trips, and shattering a glass table with a headspin.
We'll discuss locker decorations, mom bike thieves, and helping your kids manage their Tinder profiles.
And even though we're supposed to be talking about moms, we'll probably share our thoughts and feelings about other things and maybe talk to some folks over at the award-winning Clarion newsroom.
Because life is moms, but life is everything else too. Life is drops now.
Now.
Abby, did you already buy your mom a Mother's Day gift? And if you haven't, one, you're a bad daughter, but two, what are you going to plan to buy? Or
so
do for
today
your mother?
we went to Target today and bought her a vase and flowers, but we were with her.
You bought her a full vase?
Well, I'm at the cabin. I'm at my cabin, and we don't have any vases up here. So we bought a vase.
Is a cabin even a cabin without a few vases?
Without a vase? No, we needed some. That's what my mom said too. She goes, we should just bring one from home. And I'm like, no, we need a special cabin vase. So we got her some flowers, but that's it. My dad goes, you're not getting anything else.
Classic dad.
Well,
classic Midwest.
So my dad loves getting my mom stuff, but my mom will not accept anything. She does not want anything. She never says like, oh, I really want that. She wanted she wanted this like circle thing that wraps her headphones up. She wanted that. That was the only thing I remember her ever wanting was like the cord organizer.
What a loving gift. What do you mean she doesn't accept Mother's Day gifts? Like if your dad brings her like flowers, does she like throw them in the garbage or
no? She likes those, but if we get her she's not a materialistic person at all. So if we got her anything, like if we got her clothes or something like that, she'd return them. She'd just say, "I don't need it."
She'll actually go to the store
all
and
the
return
time.
them.
Yeah, all the time.
My daughter got me this horrible gift. Take it back.
No, she just doesn't. She doesn't want it. She always says she doesn't need it. She's a great person. I would love to know what that's like. If somebody gave me some tops, I'd be like, heck yeah. Like, who doesn't want that? I guess moms.
Does she?
Would your mom take presents?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like any normal person.
Yeah, it's boggling my mind. Does she say that you were gonna? I almost said say that I was gonna give your mom a gift, but that's not appropriate. Say that you gave your mom like a shirt. Does she tell you on the spot like I'm not gonna keep this? I'm gonna go take this back, or does she like sneakily do it?
No, she's not mean about it ever. She just goes, "Why did you get me this? Like I really don't need it." Like she doesn't want anything. She really doesn't.
Why did you get me this? I just wanted a cabin vase.
She did. She wanted that vase today. She goes, "Oh, this is good." My dad's like, "Is that a vase?"
This is good.
I just don't think Target runs can ever be normal.
No.
With my two parents.
Why did you get me this?
Oh my gosh.
Is the best thing that you can hear after you give your mom a Mother's Day gift. Well, Abby.
I know. She likes cards and handwritten things, so
yeah,
maybe I'll color on something.
Well, a cabin vase is a pretty good gift, but I don't think any of us can top some of the gifts that our guests on this episode are going to give their moms. So what this episode's going to look like for all of you listeners out there, it's going to be a little different. We have some students, fellow podcasters from Scott Winter's digital storytelling class, of which I'm a TA in, and they have written some beautiful sentences for their moms. And we invited partnerships on the show today to share those sentences and try their hand at podcasting. And they're probably going to do a lot better than we've ever done. So enjoy that and go get your mom a cabin vase.
Next up, we have McKenna Cook and Molly Korzanowski here to share some long sentences about their mothers, which is amazing. Thank you so much, you guys, and you have the floor.
All right. Thank you, Abby. Hi, I'm Molly Korzanowski, and my favorite things to do with my mom are travel, clothes shop, and drink blueberry banana smoothies with her every morning.
Hi, my name is McKenna Cook, and my favorite things to do with my mom are go on long car rides, spend way too many hours and way too much money at Target, and complain about Hannah B's season of The Bachelor.
Love that. All right. As you know, today we're telling stories about our mothers.
And to get started, we're going to hear from Molly about her mom and her long sentence about her mom.
All right, here it goes. What you all wanted. Okay. I know you, Sarah. You're the type of mother who will buy a bag of chocolate chips and eat the whole thing before you have a chance to actually make any cookies. Anyways, thanks, Mom, for dragging me and my friend all the way to Chicago to see a One Direction concert and continuing to drive us even when we were going to be late and even though you really had to go to the bathroom. For being there to fend off the women on St. Martin Island in the Caribbean who kept asking to braid my hair, for eating a Cinnabon with me on Maplewood Mall floor at 3 a.m. on Black Friday when no one else would go with me to get that buy 3 get 3 free Bath & Body Works discount, for vigorously watering my cacti when I traveled to India all of January, even if you did end up killing the one ivy plant I had, for watching PBS News 24/7 and always keeping me up to date on the next leg of the coronavirus, for sleeping so hard you didn't even realize that I had let my friends stay over until 3 a.m., for reminding me to care for other people more than myself or politics, for swiping through my Tinder profile with me while being overly picky on the guys I swiped right on, for assuring me the miracle of childbirth is not that bad as a ploy to ensure I give you grandchildren, and for recommending the show Stranger Things on Netflix even though I almost fell off the treadmill from a jump scare, and for always helping me stay on the right path while letting me be me. There we have it.
Oh my God, your mom seems like an amazing person. I want to meet her now.
She's something.
Okay. I have a question for you. 3 a.m. at Cinnabon. How did that happen? Where did you see that ad, and how did you convince your mom to do that with you?
Well, my friend Melanie from high school, she would always go Black Friday shopping, and I was like jealous because I was like, that sounds so much fun, like running around the mall at 3 a.m. with a horde of people. So I just like convinced my mom. Like Melanie was busy, she was with her mom, so I was like, Mom, please let me go to the Maplewood Mall and just buy clothes and like see what the craze is about Black Friday. So I just convinced her to go. And we were out shopping, and there was a lot of long lines. It was like sweaty and hot in all the stores. I did end up getting a lot of lotion from Bath & Body Works. And then we just kind of got hungry, around 3 a.m. So we just grabbed a Cinnabon, and there was no chairs left because there were so many people. So we just plopped a squat on the floor and watched the crowds go by in the hall.
Yeah, great. That's probably not something that's going to happen anytime in this COVID season.
Right, exactly.
So you talked about your mom swiping with you on Tinder. What exactly, give us some examples of her standards on what a perfect guy is for you. Like how are you talking?
Oh, she's very picky. It's kind of funny actually. So like it's like me, my mom, and my brother all sitting at the like dining room table, and like I'm all over there on my Tinder, and then like someone pops up and my brother's like, oh, give him a chance. He looks like a nice guy. Then my mom was like, oh, ew, no way. Like, you could totally do better. So, like, I have both of them on either side of me, like, telling me what to do. And then I'm just like, stop. I'm just going to shut the app off now. Like, I can't deal with you guys.
If you had to listen to one of them, who would you choose?
I feel like I usually choose what my mom picks because, let's be honest, my brother does not know, like, what a decent human is. Like, We've all seen them.
Oh Man, he's not going to enjoy listening to this podcast.
He won't know. He won't know.
Oh my gosh. So overall, if you could describe your mom in 3 words, what 3 words would you choose?
She's laid back for sure. She's really caring about other people. Like she puts others above like anything. And let's see. Maybe like goofy. I think she's definitely goofy. She has a lot of interesting quirks.
I feel like you guys are probably a lot in the same.
Oh yeah, we get along swimmingly.
All right, that's all the questions I've got for you.
All right, well, let's hear about your mother.
All right. I know you, Chanda. You're the type of mom that will drop anything and everything when I'm having a bad day and need a shoulder to lean on. Anyways, thank you for the hours of carpool conversations talking about how many Culver's fries we could eat before we fit through the doorframe. For bringing me a venti very berry hibiscus from Starbucks when I needed a little motivation. For the long nights we stayed up talking about how the mean girls at school are always going to be around, but the trick is to go where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated. For the years you played the role of stage mom at the dance studio and then circus, and sparkled every single costume and tied every single shoe. For making me the most popular 4th grader when you made me the coolest locker decorations around that anyone at O.H. Anderson had ever seen. For sitting at the end of my bed and listening to me complain about the geometry homework that I had, and for telling me you never understood math either, but you made it out okay. Thanks for taking me on shopping sprees after bad days and the occasional Venmo messages of $20 just because you deserve it. Thank you for playing with my hair when I couldn't fall asleep, for sitting outside my bedroom door when I was 4 at 10 p.m. folding laundry until I would finally fall asleep so the monsters wouldn't get to me, for holding me during my losses and celebrating me during my accomplishments, and always promising me God has a plan so much brighter than I could ever imagine.
Oh, she sounds so nice. Like my mom, whose mom actually Venmos them money just because. Like, my mom like barely gives me money to go buy groceries for the family. So like.
Yeah, no, it's honestly the best thing when I'm kind of down or whatever, and I'll look at my phone and I'm like, oh, hey. It's not great when I'm with my friends and my friends are on my phone and then they're like, excuse me, where's my money? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like I had told her I was having a bad day earlier. It's just $5 for coffee. Please don't judge me.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need to get a pick-me-up, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so when's a moment that your mom like really came through for you? Like, do you have a specific story?
Yeah, oh my gosh. So almost a year ago at this time, one of my best friends ended up passing away. And I remember I was with her at the Rosedale Mall and we were in the store called Posh Love. It's kind of like in that newer section of the Rosedale Mall. But I remember getting the call and I remember I was standing right outside the window and I just kind of like fell onto the floor because I didn't know how to react. And I remember she like crouched down on the floor with me and was talking me through it. And it was such an emotional moment for both of us. But she was like, hey, McKenna, because the last thing I was going to think about in that situation was praying because I was just so overly emotional. But she was like, hey, like, let's pray real quick. And so she led the most deep prayers that I think I've ever heard her pray ever in my entire life. And that is forever going to be one of my favorite memories with her, although it was extremely traumatic and I was going through so much. It really just showed me that God put my mom in my life for a reason and that she truly is going to be my rock in the storm no matter what.
Wow, that's a really powerful moment. I love that. I love how she just was able to do that in the middle of the store too. Like,
yeah, there was a lady who came up and she was like, are you guys okay? My mom's like, we were praying. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll pray for you, and walked away. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
I didn't laugh about it in the moment, but now thinking back on it, I'm like, I hope that lady didn't like go home stressed that she had just like ruined the moment, but you know, it's okay. All right.
Yeah, that's good. She had good intents. Oh, and then I just have to know, what was the locker decorations you were talking about? Because that sounds amazing.
So we would go in gosh, for middle school, we went in 2 weeks early because that's when we were first allowed in to like meet your teachers or whatever. And no one really knows this. I don't know why they don't tell students this, but the schools are open after they do like the meet your teachers day. So we would go in and measure our like the locker size, and we had like fabric wallpaper, and then we would go to Joann's where they have the different shapes and stuff, and we would paint them, put my name on them, write things on them, sparkle them. They were like magnets. We had picture frames, a chandelier, of course. We had carpet in there. I could have slept in there, honestly. Like I could have stayed the night in my locker and it would have been completely comfortable. And that happened all the way up until 10th grade. So yeah, 6th grade through 10th grade, I had the most decorated locker in all of Matamidi. So
Wow. Look at you. Love that. I had a little chandelier, but nothing in comparison to that.
Okay, so next up we have Tuan Vo and Jessica Trowell. You guys have the floor.
Hi everyone. Like Abby said, my name is Tuan. I'm a junior graphic design major, and a fun fact about me is that when I first started breakdancing, I tried to do a head spin in the living room, but I miserably failed and broke a glass table.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey everyone, this is Jessica Trowell. I'm a senior at Bethel, and I am an international relations major. And I'm also ecstatic to be here. A fun fact about me is that I really do not like pineapples. I can't believe Mother's Day is around the corner, and my siblings and I already bought my mom a bouquet of roses, which she loved. Do you have anything planned for Mother's Day, Tone?
I am also buying my mom a bouquet of roses. And I think so today we want to honor our beautiful mothers by recapping some of the best moments we've had with them through a long sentence. So Jessica, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'd love to start. Okay, here's my sentence. I know you, Jennifer. You're the kind of mom who quietly brings fruit to my room when I'm in the middle of studying without me asking. Anyway, thanks, Mom, for all the times you cooked Guyanese chicken curry with loving hands, for buying me vintage polka dot dresses before I left to study in Paris, for being a supportive passenger when I drove my first road trip to Chicago, which took 12 hours but felt like a lifetime, for threatening to give our cat Adonis up for adoption, but showering him with kisses behind closed doors, for showing bravery by going scuba diving with the rest of the family at the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef in Mexico, even though you were scared to death, for giving me a sister who I begged to have when I was 7 years old, and ever since her existence has taught me how to share my lifesaver gummies, for saying yes to all the sleepovers I had with my childhood best friend in middle school, even though you thought she was a bad influence on me, for forcing me to talk to my relatives when they called, because I've learned over time that family will be there for me for all the times my friends won't. But also, thanks for making me care packages full of instant coffee packets and Sarasi tea my freshman year of college when I was 1,000 miles away from home and miserable. And for asking if I truly loved my high school sweetheart, because what did I even know about real love at age 18? And most importantly, for giving me the 1-page long warfare prayer that's been passed down from generations that I whisper to God every morning, because you've taught me God is always the most important thing in life, even more than loving you.
Wow, that was amazing. That was very beautiful. So from hearing your long sentence, Jessica, you seem to have many great moments with your mom, but can you perhaps share an embarrassing moment between you and your mom?
Oh my goodness, an embarrassing moment. I really do not like talking about embarrassing moments. But I guess an embarrassing moment would be when my mom and I were out shopping at Costco one day. We love going to Costco. That's one of our favorite like supermarkets to go to. And my mom slipped on like a piece of some type of food in the store and she fell and I tried helping her up, but then I fell too. And the whole thing was just a mess. But we were laughing throughout it all and we didn't care like who saw us. So I think that's one of the most embarrassing things that's happened to us.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So during this time of quarantine, have you learned anything new about your mom?
Yeah, I mean, I have always known this about her, but during quarantine, I have just come to discover how resilient she is. I mean, as an essential worker working in the hospital, she is exhausted. She's tired day after day, but she is so resilient and she's dedicated to her work and making sure her patients are safe and healthy. And it's such an inspiration for me to see. And hopefully, I can one day be as resilient as her.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your long sentence about your mom. I guess I'll go ahead and share mine. So I know you, Hương. You're the type of mom who would cook up a homemade 5-course Vietnamese meal for her hungry son at 1 a.m. when you can hear his stomach growling. Thank you for the time you took me to the emergency room to get stitches after I threw a slate rock towards a pole at Lions Park and it ricocheted back to hit me in the forehead. For going on the Ferris wheel with me at the Minnesota State Fair because I was afraid of heights. For not getting angry at me in public when I took off my beanie at McDonald's, revealing that I shaved my head bald after losing a bet with a friend. For letting me use thousands of Lego pieces to recreate the Battle of Geonosis in your bedroom and you have to clean it up after when it was demolished. For always making me mung bean pastry whenever I'm feeling down to boost up my attitude and taste buds. Thank you so much for helping me develop a relationship with the Lord by forcing me to read scripture and join the Vietnamese Eucharistic Youth Movement, for helping me steal back my Roadmaster Granite Peak men's mountain bike from a group of goons, for letting me keep all the money I found under the pool at the Vinpro Land Water Park, and most importantly, for reminding me that my birthday is not all about me, but it's actually about the woman who brought me into this life, because that is more worth celebrating than myself, and I love you for that.
Wow, I love that.
Thank
It
you.
sounds like you were a really adventurous kid when you were younger.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One question I have is, can you tell me a little bit more about that bet that you lost with a friend that made you shave your head?
Oh yeah, so it was back when I was in middle school at St. Peter Claver. One of my friends told me that I had to ask out this girl for, homecoming, and I was too chicken. I didn't have the confidence to do so. So since I didn't follow through with it, he shaved my head bald.
Oh my goodness, that is so crazy. It also seems that your mom loves cooking you plenty of homemade meals. What is
Yes.
your favorite Vietnamese meal?
My favorite is probably pho. It's like Vietnamese broth soup, noodles with like a bunch of meat and bean sprout. So I really enjoy that. It always reminds me of back at home in Vietnam.
That's awesome. And also, what are some ways that you maintain your Vietnamese tradition here in the US, besides joining the Eucharistic Youth Movement?
One way I maintain that is through just celebrating my family's tradition through family gatherings during a holiday called Vietnamese New Year's called Tết. It happens in February where we come together. There's like money hung up on this sort of plant, and then the youngest in the family would pick an envelope that's hanging on the plant, and it's all based on luck, and like it ranges from like $1 to like $100 bills, and whatever one you grab, if you grab the $100 one, you're like the most luckiest one in the family. So like we maintain it through basically just family gatherings.
That's awesome. That's basically how I keep up with my Guyanese tradition too. Even though I've never been to Guyana, I have a lot of family reunions and gatherings throughout the year where we just get together and eat so much food.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I usually every year for Mother's Day, I would get my mom something like tangible, like a bouquet of roses, but I don't think I've ever wrote her a letter or shared to her like how I feel about her or like appreciate the things that she's done for me. So I think maybe this year I'll have a chance to share my long sentence with her to see what her reaction is. Do you plan on doing the same?
Yeah, I mean, my mom loves whenever I put thought into a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, one year I actually drew her because I am an artist as well. So I drew a portrait of her
That's awesome.
and she framed it. She loved it so much. And so I can't wait to actually read this poem out to her because I know she'll love it.
Awesome.
Alrighty, next up, we've got Josh Sancelli and Anita Stassen coming at you with some fresh Mother's Day content. Josh and Anita, you guys have the floor.
Yeah, so like Zach said, I'm Josh. I'm a sophomore and a BTS major.
And I'm Anita. I'm a senior, and I'm an English Lit and Writing and Digital Design.
So today we're going to be just talking about our moms, and with Mother's Day upcoming this Sunday, so we wrote some long sentences. So I'll go ahead. I know you, Benita. You're the kind of mom who needs coffee with 3 sugars and French vanilla crema first thing in the morning to get that needed energy boost right before everyone else wakes up demanding your attention. Anyways, thanks, Mom, for always having Fruit Loops in the house because you knew they were my favorite, for picking me up every day after school because I was too lazy to walk the half-mile home, for the many family road trips to Florida because you knew how much we loved the ocean despite knowing how moody everyone gets driving home, for moving us to Anoka so we could be a block away from my cousins so we'd always have family around to go camping with at Camp Lebanon, and game nights, which really just consisted of us playing our own version of charades, which we called bowl. For always supporting my ideas, like the time I suggested we turn a 3-day road trip into 1.5 by driving all night and only stopping when we needed gas, or the time I decided to move to South Carolina for a summer to go on a missions trip with crew, and ended up scaring you half to death when I made you think I got kidnapped. For allowing me to fully embrace the spirit of Halloween because you knew it's my favorite holiday, despite believing it's not a very Christian thing to do. For showing me how to care for others every day we work together at Chick-fil-A, and for the endless hugs because I can never get enough.
Nice. Good sentence. Those are some really great stories in there. Something that sounded really interesting was that road trip. Can you tell me more about that?
Which one? The 1.5 days?
Yeah, the 3-day road trip. What was that about?
We were just doing one of our explorations where we just kind of randomly go and take road trips. It was supposed to be just a 3-dayer, but we decided to do it a 1.5 days because I was like, I just want to get home after driving for so long. And we drove all night and it was like pitch black out, semis were out, but we were going through mountains. I was like, let's just get home. So next thing you know, we're pulling up. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and the sun's rolling up and we're like, all right, time for bed.
Wow.
So just one of the many things we do together.
Yeah. Fun memories like that, the road trips and things like that.
Oh, absolutely. We usually get lost though. She's not that great with directions.
Oh,
So
no.
she'll say one thing, point the other way, and next thing you know, it's probably a 4-day road trip.
But that's what makes it fun, yeah?
Absolutely.
All right. I guess I'll read my sentence now. So here we go. I know you, Jackie. You're the kind of mom who packs a bag full of groceries and treats every time her college kids come home so they can leave refrigerators full for the next month. Anyways, thanks, Mom, for pulling my hair up every morning of 4th grade for my signature ponytail when I didn't know how, for swerving the minivan to the beat of Freeway of Love after half days of kindergarten on lazy afternoons, for the daily walk runs with the wind and the sun streaming across our faces, and turning around the morning I knew I was warm enough after you told me I wouldn't be warm enough, for trips to the Minnesota Zoo, shielding me from the big splash at the dolphin show, and always letting me have the Powerpuff Girls popsicle, for all the peanut butter and jelly pieces, the jelly always strawberry, and the crust cut off when I went through that phase, for picking me up from college on the weekends when I hated freshman year, for introducing me to the best Cinderella movie ever and being my personal Whitney Houston, for the constant supply of vegan desserts, for putting up with all the times we kids wandered through the aisles of Blockbuster only to settle on SpongeBob when you'd rather watch Minority Report for stay up night, for walking 60 blocks at night in New York City when our subway tickets wouldn't work and still wanting to travel the world with me, for all the I love you a whole big bunch forever and ever amens shouted across the bedroom walls when I couldn't fall asleep, for calming me down when my heart felt like it was going to burst the first time I rode the wave, and afterwards when we laughed, soaking wet at how silly I was, for driving me to elementary school and middle school and high school because I was too anxious to take the bus, for all the kombucha surprises just because, for being a Trekkie and recognizing every episode of the original series within the first 5 seconds to determine whether it's worth watching, for praying for me even when I lose faith, for supporting me through all the tender moments and cold shoulders, and for being the mom I hope I can someday be.
Love it. Is your mom really a Trekkie?
She really is. Her and all her siblings grew up on Star Trek and they love it so much.
Really? I am the only one in my family like that, so that is so funny.
Yeah, I can't relate as much because I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but it's funny when she's watching it and she's like, oh, this one's a bad one. We don't have to watch it.
She's like, we can skip this.
Yep.
That's amazing. But I want to know more about the New York City. You literally had to walk 60 blocks?
Yeah, it was this crazy thing. I don't know what was going on with our subway tickets. We didn't get like a full pass or anything for a long amount of days. So at some point, we just couldn't get on the subway anymore. And I was in New York with my mom and my sister, and we had to walk 60 blocks back to our hotel, like at 8 at night, close to 9. So it was getting pretty dark, but we still look back on it and are able to laugh. We're not mad at each other anymore. So it was fine.
Travel stories, I think, are like the best stories, especially when things like that happen.
For sure. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what does your mom do for work?
She's a paraprofessional, so she helps with special needs kids and also kids with behavior problems just to get their work done.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a genuine job to have.
Yeah, she enjoys it. She finds a lot of good in it. So what about your mom? What's she do?
She kind of runs Chick-fil-A here in Coon Rapids. So
Okay.
she doesn't own it, but she's like the top person below the owner. So she kind of does that for a while. And I actually worked with her for 3 years. So that was pretty nice to do.
Yeah. Was that fun working with your mom or kind of stressful?
At first, we were like, is this going to be weird? Because my dad's like, she's going to be your boss. Do you call her Miss Benita or do you call her mom? I was like, she's my mother. Everyone's going to know it. And they kind of loved that dynamic because they were like, this actually works, because then it became like a family environment. You know, it's never been, it's kind of family oriented. So it was nice. And some of our regular customers enjoyed that as well. So
Nice. That's fun.
yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Is there something that your mom is like known for?
Just in general? Oof.
Yeah.
Not really. No, I mean, she does do this thing, which we always laugh about. She jumbles words together when she's trying to speak a sentence. And we're like, Mom, what did you just try to say? And it just doesn't make any sense. And so she does it all the time wherever she's at. So people just get a kick out of it. So she's definitely kind of a funny person, probably where I get it from. Just always goofy and acting like that. So we're like, we don't care. We're here to make people smile. That's about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. I'm definitely a lot more like my mom than my dad. So
Yeah, me too.
which is interesting. But so what was it like to have your mom be your personal Whitney Houston?
Oh, very fun. I mean, we're always singing together and just having a good time, and she's someone I really look up to as a role model. So we have fun together. We jam out, always listening to music in the car and singing as loud as we can. So it's always a party.
Do you have like a favorite song to sing?
I mean, one of the songs my mom really likes is Pompeii by Pautz. So I'll always play that one when we're in the car, and then we're always singing that together. So it's fun.
Love it. Well, thanks for sharing about your mom. It was really interesting to hear some stories and what it's like being a Stassin.
Oh, yeah. Anytime. Thanks for sharing about your mom, too. Great to hear your stories.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, thanks for having us, you guys.
All right, next up we have Emily Rossing and Logan Murphy going to share a little bit about their moms. Emma, Logan, you guys have the floor.
Cool. Well, thanks, Zach, for letting us be on the show. Yep, my name's Emily. I'm a freshman at Bethel. I'm a biokinetics major, journalism minor, and something kind of weird about me is I love zucchini bread. So there you go.
Okay, so my name is Logan Murphy. I am a freshman at Bethel studying journalism. And something cool about me is I have lived in 6 different states. So,
dang, it's a lot.
So today, we have each prepared like a long sentence about our moms. And Emily is going to share first, and then I'm going to ask her a few questions about her mom. And then I'm going to share my sentence, and then she's going to ask me a few questions.
Sweet. All right, let's get started. Cool. Yeah, so this just follows the same kind of format as the other ones you've probably heard, but go ahead and get started. So here we go. I know you, Steph. You're the kind of mom who laughs deafeningly loud at something only mildly funny. Anyway, thanks, Mom, for losing your voice at every one of my volleyball tournaments and an occasional academic awards ceremony, for setting off the smoke alarm in your attempt to make us fondue for Christmas, for speeding down the road to bring me from my 8th grade musical rehearsal in Rogers back to volleyball practice in Maple Grove, for adjusting your work schedule so that you could pick out my voice in the midst of 60 others at choir concerts, for showing me how to love hard and not thinking twice about donating financially to someone you know who needs it, for not pushing me away even when I push you away, for getting so excited when Facebook tags you as me or an old college friend of yours thinks that we're sisters, for not allowing me to play My Sims Kingdom for 4 hours straight on our Wii during the summer of 2011, for pulling me out of school multiple times so we could road trip to places like Eau Claire, Wisconsin, just to see where you grew up and laugh about the fact that you used to be a Packer fan, for listening when I ranted to you about not having all A's, the rain ruining my weekend plans, or Kirsten making me late to things, and giving the best advice that you could, for reminding me daily that life is not perfect and that I'm not expected to be either, for digging out your prom dress in 1988 and letting me try it on for the laugh, for never making fun of me when I get overly anxious about the boy not texting me back or the upcoming test that I have, for setting an example for me of how a woman of Christ can be a boss and still show grace and kindness, for being a chocolate snob and teaching me that life is short for bad chocolate, for not mentioning that I'm your daughter when you speak as a guest in Bethel classes, for helping me trick Dad into buying things we want but don't need, like the massage gun, the trampoline, and the extra fancy jump ropes that cost $50 but the reviews promised that it was worth it, and for being the best example I know of to truly be comfortable in your own skin. Yeah.
Good. I have to ask you though, what does it mean to be a chocolate snob? Like, how do you tell the difference between good and bad chocolate?
You know, I honestly didn't think there was one either. But growing up with her and my grandma, I promise you, there's a difference between good chocolate and bad chocolate. You can taste I don't know. I guess for us, it's like a texture thing, like the melt in your mouth kind of thing makes it worth
Okay.
it. So that's what we go after. But yeah.
And then, okay, so questions. Tell me about like the best memory you have with your mom.
The best memory? Oh man, there's so many. One that comes to mind though is a tradition that we had when I was a kid. On my birthday every year, we'd go to the Wild Rumpus, if you know what that is. It's in downtown area, I think, and it's this bookstore with animals just like roaming the store. So there's like cats and chickens, and it's just like a farmhouse, but it's a bookstore. And we would go there every year, and I'd pick out a book, and she'd write me like a note in the front of the book. So instead of like a birthday card, she'd write me something in the front, and then I have all those books. So yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then, how does your mom handle you going off to college?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not from too far. Bethel is 30 minutes away from where I live. So she's handled it pretty well. But I remember towards the end of senior year of high school, she was like, every time I'd bring up, like, I'd be like, Mom, 50 days until I graduate. She'd be like, stop talking. Like, I don't even want to think about it. But she's been all right. And with me being home now because of the virus, I think we've both seen what's good about the distance in our relationship, but it's been fine. But yeah, she handled it pretty well, I think, overall. So.
And tell me a story that kind of sums up her personality.
Oh man, that's a big question. I don't know a specific story, but anytime I have like people over, she's like the type of person who will like be all up in their business and want to know like every detail about them. And like I said in my poem, she laughs at like the stupidest things, and it's like a super loud, annoying laugh. I wish I could have you or have her do it for me right now, but like all of my friends like know her by her laugh because you can pick it out from like a million miles away. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a defining characteristic of hers, I think.
Uh-huh.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
And then, what is the most important thing you have learned from your mom?
Most important thing I've learned. I think she just does a really, really good job of being herself. And I think for the first kind of half of my life, I could see her kind of working through that and what it means to be a good mom and be a good wife and just be good in her field and everything. And I was young, so I couldn't really see all of that. But even like now as I'm older, I can just see her being so much like more joyful, and she's just so like confident in who she is. So I think that's kind of the biggest advice I could take from her is just be confident in who you are.
Okay, yeah, good advice.
Cool.
And then I think that's all the questions I have for you.
Sweet. All right, well then it's your turn.
So,
Pick yours.
now
And
it's
then I get
my
to
turn.
interrogate you.
Okay. Okay. I know you, Dareth. You're the kind of mom who walks into a public bathroom by yourself and comes out with 3 friends. Anyways, thanks, Mom, for the game's award with friends, for putting up with me when I played QI for 65 points, for taking me to Dairy Queen to get our cookie dough blizzards, for laughing with me at every episode of The King of Queens, for trying to fit in with us cool kids by hitting the Quan, for allowing me and my friends to build forts in the basement with every pillow and blanket in the house, for trying to talk sports with me, even though you had no idea who Tyreek Hill or Taylor Martinez was, for being the cool mom by making a special trip to Target to buy water balloons on a hot summer day, for breaking up arguments between Liam and I over who gets to pick the TV show, for golfing with me even when all you wanted to do was drive the cart, for your unwavering strength raising 3 young kids through multiple moves and 2-year-long deployments for dad, for showing the importance of family through your relationships with your siblings and parents, for letting me go to a small Christian school rather than sending me to the big city school, for teaching me from an early age what it means to be a follower of Christ and living that out over the course of a 3-year battle with colon cancer, for never wavering in your faith and insisting this is all part of God's plan, even when he didn't totally believe it, for making it to every one of my high school basketball games, even though you were going through chemo treatment and could hardly get out of bed, for never saying no to making a memory, like the time we went to Mexico, even though you were sick from chemo and you still went ziplining with us, for living your life with a love for all people, even the brother-in-law who distanced himself from the family, for showing me what it means to be a good spouse, parent, and friend, and for paving a path I strive to follow every day of my life.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good.
Thank you.
You can tell that your mom has a go-getter type of personality, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
she definitely, yes.
So you mentioned the fact that like she would come even though she was sick to your basketball games and everything, and sounds like she's super committed to your family. But you talked too about her faith and how that kind of got her through those hard years. So how has your mom's faith kind of influenced you then? Like seeing her have that faith, how has it influenced your own?
Yeah, it's influenced me a lot. I don't know. Just like growing up, we were always like, she would take us we would go to church like all the time, but I didn't really like totally understand my faith until I saw her suffering. Like every day, over the course of like her cancer like journey, she always had a positive attitude, and she would just say like, God has this, God has all this under control, no matter what. So just seeing that, and I know she was in so much pain through the chemo and through the surgeries, through all that, just seeing that strength she showed just kind of like demonstrated her faith.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So this is just kind of a funny question, I guess, but I always want to know, is your mom the kind of mom where she could cook really well, or did she think she could cook really well?
She really wasn't the greatest cook, but she was really good at baking. Like over Christmas, like she would make a ton of cookies. She would make them for like everyone in the neighborhood.
Sure.
And then all our family and everybody. So her cookies were really good, but yeah, her food not as much. But she thought she could really cook really good.
That's my mom too. Definitely thinks she
Yeah.
could. Gotcha. So if you had to pick any color, what color would you say best describes your mom? And why?
What color? I would say red, because it's a very like vibrant color, and she was just really lively and could always make you laugh. She had that like energetic personality. So yeah, probably red.
Red. Yeah, sounds like it's a nice color, like a deep, passionate color too, and that sounds like your mom. So cool. So same kind of question you asked me, but I want to know for you, what's kind of the best advice or best lesson that she taught you?
Probably just to stay positive no matter what. Like over like the course, I kind of already said this, but over her cancer, she never got too low. She was always just kind of steady through it all. So just to always just be kind of steady. And then also the importance of family, probably, because over like the course of her journey, we could like, family was like always the most important thing to her. She could, I don't know, she was just always, that's the thing she cared about the most was family.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Cool. Well, those are the questions I had for you. So did a great job answering. Great sentence too.
Yep, you too.
Yeah, so I guess that's all we have time for, but thanks to everyone who listened.
Thanks for listening.
Hopefully you could maybe subscribe, Hopefully you could relate to some of the things we said. And thank you, Steph and Darren, for being the best moms that we've ever had.
That is probably one of the best episodes that we've ever recorded, and we were hardly in it. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, so I'm selfish, and I missed talking. I was really excited to talk, but I did think that everyone today was amazing, and I love hearing about other people's moms. I think it's awesome that so many people have amazing moms. Sometimes I think mine's just the best, and there's no one else out there that can beat her. There are plenty. And it's awesome.
So this podcast made you realize that your mom's not that good, is what you're saying?
Yes. Did you like listening to everyone, or did you wish you could talk? I'm kind of a talker.
Yeah, of course. We're both. I mean, of course, I wish that I could talk the whole day, all days.
Time. Yeah.
But I loved hearing everybody. It was so, everybody exceeded my expectations, and I had high expectations.
It was really great.
But people just, I mean, they came in here and they were themselves, and they talked about their moms like themselves, and they cracked jokes, and they got deep, and they added a lot of depth to this podcast that I think has only been achieved by us a few times. So I think that was really, really cool. I love to see that there are people out here that could be the second co-host once I dip out next year. But and people are interested in podcasting and are good at it. So it was really, really exciting. Yeah. I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody that came on and spent their time with us and shared a little bit about their lives, a little bit about their moms.
Thank you for sharing so many good stories, funny and challenging stories that are really inspiring to everyone.
It was really, really great.
You've been listening to Life Is, a podcast from the Clarion, Bethel University's national award-winning student publication. We'd like to thank our producer, Sam Mulberry, and my and Zach's moms for creating the best podcasters.
And also the moms of all of our guests. Abby is selfish.
That's true, sorry.
The Clarion still publishes stories every day online at bethelclarion.com. Right now, check out a handy guide of 17 gifts that your mother will actually use.
Unless she's my mom. Please tell the people in your life about Life Is, which drops Monday and Friday until we run out of things to say.
Because ultimately, life is people. So tell all the Tinder boys.
And tell your cabin vase.
And tell the person with the coolest locker decorations.
And tell my mom.